Get ready to discover a side of history they never taught you in school. We're about to embark on a journey, unearthing mind-boggling facts and untold stories that have been tucked away in the corners of textbooks or completely omitted. From ancient anecdotes to eccentric rulers, forgotten heroes to unusual historical events, there's a treasure trove of fascinating narratives waiting to be explored. This isn't your average history lesson, it's an adventure into the past. So buckle up for a thrilling ride back in time. Our journey begins with the ancient civilizations, the cradle of human civilization. These societies, brimming with curiosity and innovation, have left us a legacy that's both fascinating and, at times, hilariously peculiar. Take the ancient Egyptians, for instance. They revered cats to the point that they would often mourn their pet's death by shaving off their eyebrows. Quite the fashion statement, wouldn't you say? Imagine showing up to work with no eyebrows because your cat knocked over its 9th life. Then there's the renowned city of Sparta, where newborns underwent a rigorous quality control check. If they didn't pass muster, they were unfortunately left in the wilderness. Talk about harsh entrance exams. Moving east, we stumble upon an intriguing practice from ancient China. To keep their feet petite and attractive, noble women would bind their feet from a young age. It was a painful and debilitating process. Today, we might squeeze into a pair of uncomfortable high heels for a night out, but that's child's play compared to foot binding. Let's not forget the ancient Romans. They had a knack for innovation, but their dental hygiene practices were a bit questionable. They used urine as a mouthwash. Yes, you heard that right. Urine contains ammonia, a powerful cleaning agent, but using it for fresh breath? I'll stick to my minty toothpaste. Thank you very much. And lastly, we have the Mayans, who believed in the power of symmetry. To ensure their children had the desirable trait of cross eyes, they would dangle objects in front of newborns' eyes to achieve the desired effect. Try explaining that one at your next eye exam. But let's not be too quick to judge. While these customs may seem strange and even absurd to us, they were a part of everyday life for our ancestors. They highlight the diversity and ingenuity of these ancient societies. And who knows, maybe a few centuries down the line, our descendants will be chuckling at our obsession with social media or our penchant for avocado toast. So, the next time you're tempted to roll your eyes at your grandparents' old-fashioned habits, remember, ancient civilizations have got you beat, and you thought your family traditions were weird. Moving on to the rulers who were as quirky as they were powerful. First up, we have Emperor Caligula of Rome, notorious for his eccentricities. History tells us that Caligula appointed his horse, Incitatus, as a consul. Yes, you heard it right, a horse. Caligula's love for his steed was so profound that he even gave it a marble stall and an ivory manger. Talk about horse love taking on a whole new level. Sailing from Rome to China, we encounter Emperor Qin Shi Huang. He was so obsessed with the idea of immortality that he consumed mercury pills, ironically leading to his early demise. His pursuit of eternal life also led him to build a massive mausoleum guarded by the famous terracotta army. Next, let's journey to Russia and meet Tsar Peter the Great. Towering over his contemporaries at a height of 6 feet 8 inches, he had an unusual fascination with all things tall. He even established the all-joking, all-drunken Synod of Fools and Jesters, where members were chosen based on their height. Quite a towering tale, wouldn't you agree? Now, let's time travel to the 19th century. Meet Ludwig II of Bavaria, also known as the Fairy Tale King. Ludwig was known for his extravagant castles and his fascination with swans. He even had a dining table that could be lowered into the kitchen below for serving food just to avoid human contact. A bit extreme for a king, don't you think? Speaking of extreme, let's not forget Queen Christina of Sweden. She was known for her eccentric sleeping habits. She often slept 3 to 4 hours a night and spent the rest of her time studying. Quite the night owl she was. Lastly, we can't miss out on Emperor Nero. He had a particular fondness for music and often forced the audience to listen to his performances without a break. Even when Rome burned in the Great Fire, Nero was said to be playing his lyre. literally fiddling while Rome burned. These rulers, with their peculiar habits and eccentricities, certainly left their unique mark on history. Their stories remind us that power and peculiarity often go hand in hand, making history all the more fascinating. Remember, it's good to be the king, but it's even better to be a unique one. Next up, the unsung heroes and heroines whose stories are nothing short of inspiring. Now, let's delve into the tales of these forgotten figures who left indelible marks on our past. Imagine a world where a woman scientist is behind the discovery of nuclear fission, but her male partner receives the credit and the Nobel Prize. This is the story of Lise Meitner, a physicist who played a critical role in the discovery of nuclear fission in the 1930s. Despite her groundbreaking work, she was overlooked by the Nobel Committee, a testament to the resilience and dedication of countless women who have been sidelined in the annals of history. Let's travel back to the American Revolutionary War, where a brave woman named Sybil Ludington took a midnight ride longer than Paul Revere's to warn of approaching British forces. Yet, her name is often relegated to the footnotes of history. Here's to Sybil and all the unsung heroines whose acts of bravery shaped the world we live in today. In the realm of civil rights, Bayard Rustin, a close confidant of Martin Luther King Jr., was instrumental in organizing the historic March on Washington. However, his open homosexuality led to his marginalization, and his crucial role often goes unrecognized. Rustin's story reminds us that history is full of heroes who stood up for justice, even when society refused to acknowledge them. From the dusty pages of history springs the tale of Kutulun, a Mongolian warrior princess who was described by Marco Polo as a superb fighter who could ride into enemy ranks and snatch a captive as easily as a hawk snatches a chicken. Despite her extraordinary feats, Kutulun's story is seldom told, overshadowed by the exploits of her famous cousin, Kublai Khan. And let's not forget about the countless nameless heroes and heroines, the everyday people who made sacrifices, took risks, and faced adversities with courage and determination. These are the unsung heroes of history, the individuals who, despite not making it into the textbooks, have left an enduring legacy that continues to inspire us. In remembering these forgotten figures, we not only honor their contributions, but also challenge ourselves to question the narratives we've been taught, to seek out the untold stories that add depth and richness to our understanding of the past. To those who dare to stand out, we salute you. Remember, history is not just about kings and queens, generals and conquerors. It's also about the ordinary people who did extraordinary things, the forgotten heroes and heroines whose resilience, courage, and determination continue to inspire us today. And now, for some of the most bizarre and unexpected events from history. Let's start by rewinding to the late 19th century, to a time when the United States experienced what can only be described as a meteorological phenomenon. Yes, you heard it right. In 1876, chunks of meat rained down from the sky over a Kentucky farm, known as the Kentucky Meat Shower. This bizarre event baffled scientists. Some believed it was a rain of vulture vomit, while others suggested it was a flesh of a horse carried aloft by a tornado. All we can say is it was a real-life cloudy with a chance of meatballs scenario. Now, let's take a leap back to the 18th century. In an instance of truly explosive gastronomy, King Louis XIV of France hosted a feast that boasted an illuminating centerpiece, a pyrotechnic pudding. This dessert, designed to surprise and delight, unfortunately, ignited prematurely, causing a fiery spectacle that was a bit more dramatic than intended. Fast forward to the early 20th century, we find ourselves in Australia amidst the Great Emu War. Yes, there was a time when the military fought a war against emus. In 1932, in response to the emu invasion of croplands, the Australian military was dispatched with machine guns. The emus, it seemed, had the last laugh, as their scattered, unpredictable movements made them difficult targets. The war ended in a stalemate, with the emus declared the unofficial winners. Finally, We can't forget the time in 1967 when the American town of Centralia, Pennsylvania, lit a landfill fire that accidentally ignited a coal mine beneath the town. The fire has been burning continuously to this day, turning Centralia into a modern-day ghost town. These examples serve as a reminder that history isn't just about wars and politics. It also encompasses the weird, the wonderful, and the downright wacky. It shows us that the human experience is a rich tapestry of events that often defy explanation and challenge our understanding of what is possible. History, as it turns out, is stranger than fiction. Well, that was quite a trip through the annals of history, wasn't it? We've journeyed from the quirky customs of ancient civilizations, through the eccentricities of famous leaders, to the inspiring tales of forgotten heroes, and wrapped up with some truly bizarre historical events. We'd love to hear from you. Do you have a favorite lesser-known historical fact or story? Share it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more surprising historical revelations. Until next time, keep exploring.